I married late, in my 40th year. I had a lot of other things to worry about, and marriage was postponed until later. I saw my future wife Evelyn in a supermarket. She was sitting princess-like behind the cash register. She had bluish-green eyes, which is how I imagined the mother of my future children. We met and were married a month later. I owned and still own a second-hand clothing store. I had a Honda car and a two-bedroom apartment in a new building. I wanted to make us a baby right away, but Evelyn didn't really want that. I, of course, did not like it, but I had to put up with it and for some time postpone the fulfillment of his desire. Our honeymoon and another 6 months passed. From morning till evening, I was in the store like a squirrel in a wheel. You can't leave the store unattended. In the evenings, Evelyn dragged me, exhausted from the day's work, to a restaurant or a nightclub. She wanted to unwind after the day's boredom. She quit her job at the supermarket right after the wedding and put the housework on the housekeeper. "You have to live lightly," she said, when I tried to refuse another trip to the entertainment center. I suggested that Evelyn join my business and work in the store. She pouted. "I didn't get married so I could sit behind the cash register and bend over backwards in your store again." "The store is yours now," I said. "You're going to work for yourself." "Do you want me to spend the rest of my life among dusty junk for beggars?" Evelyn replied resentfully. "Why beggars?" I was offended in turn. "I buy clothes from people with money, businessmen who know how hard every dollar is earned." "They're just greedy," Evelyn countered. "And you're greedy, too." From then on, the nickname greedy never left her lips. Evelyn spent money on her whims, and her appetite grew by the day. When I wouldn't give her money, she would take out loans to get the things she wanted. I stopped saving money in my bank account. On the contrary, it began to melt disastrously. I told Evelyn that she would ruin me by spending so much. But even that didn't stop her. "Your business is to earn money. Mine is to spend it," she replied. When I refused to give Evelyn money, she would throw a tantrum and send me to sleep on the living room couch. One day, she got angry and shouted, "I don't want any children from you, you old fool." No one had ever called me old before, and a fool at that. At that moment, I felt really old and a fool, and I began to live with this feeling. My mother-in-law, my age, she was not yet 40 years old, was on my daughter's side. "Married to a girl? Be patient." She laughed. The mother-in-law also often needed money. "How big is the salary of a nurse at the polyclinic?" She asked me to give money to repair the apartment, or for new boots, or for dental treatment in an elite clinic. I did not refuse her. So a year passed. Before the holidays, Evelyn and I had a big fight. Over money, of course. She got dressed and went to her mother's. Then it happened a few more times. The next day, I went to my mother-in-law's house to pick up my wife. I listened to her moralizing and gave in to Evelyn. But this time, I decided to wait. 3 days passed and my mother-in-law called me. "You son of a dog," she said. "Are you thinking of divorcing my daughter?" "No," I answered calmly. "This time, Mom, I have nothing to buy her out of you." My mother-in-law hesitated to answer, then said, "You're a cruel man, ready to hang yourself for $1,000. "I'm not going to hang myself, Mom," I said. "And Evelyn can come home anytime." She had the keys with her, and I hadn't changed the locks. In the evening, my mother-in-law came to see me. "We need to talk," she said, crossing the threshold and, without waiting for my invitation, went into the living room, sank down on the sofa, exposing her round knees. They were appetizing. I sat down in the chair opposite. "We need to talk," my mother-in-law repeated and pulled the hem of her dress higher, flashing pink garters. "Wow," I thought, but I answered, "I'm listening, Mother." "I can see that you and Evelyn aren't getting along," my mother-in-law continued. "I thought I was marrying my daughter to a serious man who could give her a happy life, but it turns out that I gave the poor girl into the hands of a tyrant from the crag. You have married a young girl who wants diamonds and fun while she is young, and you want to lock her up and turn her into a kitchen maid." "As much as possible," I tried to say, but my mother-in-law covered my mouth with her palm. "I understand, but you should not demand from just blossoming apple tree those fruits that can give a mature apple tree." It seems to me that you need a kind and heartfelt woman who has already known life, experienced passion, and longs for love, who understands you. I lowered my eyes. My mother-in-law took me by the chin, lifted my head, and leaned towards me. Only now I noticed that she had the same blue-green eyes. Our faces came closer together, and I felt the warmth of her breath. Do you realize that Evelyn is not the woman you want? My mother-in-law didn't say these words, but exhaled. I greedily pressed against the woman's lips without pushing me away. On the contrary, my mother-in-law put her arms around the back of my head and did not let go until we began to gasp. Two jubilant bodies clashed, like two large fish beating their silvery tails against the bottom of the boat. Now you, as an honest man, must divorce Evelyn. Free her from herself for my sake, said my mother-in-law. I will talk to Evelyn myself. I thought about it and agreed. A week later, Evelyn and I divorced, and a short time later, I married my former mother-in-law. A year later, she gave birth to a girl, my daughter. Evelyn did not linger and soon married. She found another idiot. Thank you for listening to this wonderful story. Write what you think about it. Give me likes. I need it. Good luck, everybody.